Yo, Eric, we're over here on the paranormal hunt, and I headed over to this other building, and it's number 13. What is this someone on? My God.
My great Americans, I am here to make an announcement to you all. 2024 race, I have decided to put my name once again in the hat running for president.
Oh, God.
So 2024, really? I will run for president. Now,
of what, the
technically, people, I actually did a video a lot of years ago that I actually filled out the paperwork on air. I actually sent it, stamped, certified it to the government to officially run for president in 2020. Now, of course, I didn't win.
You sure did.
I'm not president because
Thank God,
the American people, because the American people will only vote for Republicans and Democrats. They can't vote for independents. They can't think outside the box. So when people complain about the government, well, you voted in the same people. You voted in the Democrats and Republicans. So what you vote in is what you get. So I always say, yeah, we can complain, but don't cry. Because you guys could have voted for me.
Can I be the VP?
I could have been your president.
Can I run
now
for your VP?
I'll tell you, I would have been a great president. You know why I'd be a good president, Ron and Anthony?
Oh,
because
please.
I don't know everything. That's why. I don't know everything. I don't know everything. I don't know everything. You know what I do? I surround myself with people that does.
Neither do presidents. They know nothing. They're just told everything to do.
Yeah, but the difference between presidents and myself is presidents hire their buddies, their friends, their bankers. Well, they don't hire real street people that know stuff.
Look, you'll get my vote, but you have to answer one question honestly. Will you say here and now that you will absolutely create a team to open up and find out and let us know about Roswell and all the stuff?
Dude, you damn straight. Oh, man. Listen, It's time to trust the people. Listen, you, the people, pay taxes. You pay the people the salaries for them to have their jobs there. You deserve to hear from them because you put them there in those positions. So the thing is, we vote in corporations, funds. We vote in people who are just about, power and money. Listen. I know there are percentages of people that they're conspiracy, they're extremists, they're all that. But you know what? But once you start trusting the people, you lost. You lost. Now, we're not here for that. We're not here for that. All through history, presidents and UFOs. You know, the connections between presidents and UFOs. You know, there's a lot of different theories there's theories that the president themselves, even though they're in office, they don't even know everything that's within the government. There's theories that they are hidden from the truth of what they have. Because if you think about it, I'm gonna go to the movie Independence Day where that president that movie goes. What?
You didn't answer my question.
But Ron had a question.
Can I be the vice president on your ticket?
Oh,
who's going to be the VP?
But we already talked about that. You already were. And remember, we made Ron the Secretary of State.
Secretary of State. Oh, okay, good. All right. What about the SecDef? He likes playing with satellites and stuff.
Like, appoint me to, like, like the head of the Joint Chiefs of Staff or something, so I have say over the Pentagon and all that, so that we can get all the files.
We had this conversation before.
Good stuff.
You're disrespecting the president, pointing you a spot and saying you don't want that spot, you want this spot. You're no different than a banker that wants this spot. I'm your goddamn president.
Used to you. You know, I'll be your inside guy at the DOD and all that stuff. So
all I'm saying is this: Long Island Bigfoot is us, the Sasquatch Czar. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I'm making a department that's totally in charge of all the mountains, the forests, and all the animals within. Long Island Bigfoot's going to overrun.
Yeah, it's called the Secretary of State. It's called the Secretary of State.
Well,
of the Secretary of Interior.
We're going to redefine what these positions, what they do.
All right.
Yeah, just
okay, because the way we're running it now, we're never going to get anywhere. We're never going to learn anything.
And first order of business.
If you guys remember in the movie Independence Day, before we knew Area 51, we all knew it existed. But he goes, "You mean it does exist?" And I really feel that. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ron Anthony can tell. Maybe I'm wrong on this because a president can only be in terms 2 times, 4 years and 4 years, a total of 8. So, would you tell a president who walks in everything because they're only there for like 4 to 8 years?
No.
I mean, Ron, do you think there's secrets within the government they don't tell the president?
There's secrets within the government that the guy that's in the next office over him doesn't know.
Doesn't have a clue. It's
compartmentalized. You know what I mean? That's how. Yeah.
But do you think they keep I talk about I'm not talking about the UFOs that we don't know what they are in the sky, but like crashes that there are claims that we have the craft from like the Roswell crash. You think that kind of stuff they keep if it does exist? They'll keep that away from the president because he's only there for 2 terms.
Yeah, I think they don't tell him nothing. I don't think they get told anything.
And if you two were running behind the scenes of the government when Trump was president, would you even think about telling that guy? Because that guy can't hold secrets.
Yeah, no. That's why I think they don't tell presidents, period. They're not lifers. They're not long-term government position as president. You know what I mean? Some generals don't even know what's going on that do 20, 25, 30 years. You're either in the know, you're not. There can be a staff sergeant that's in the know and a general that's not in the know. It depends
who's read in on the program.
Right. Like whoever's in that special access program has access. Nobody else. Your rank really has nothing to do with it. As crazy as it sounds.
Well,
honestly, the main thing you would have to do as president is just make sure that our men and women, the ones that let us be able to sleep at night and live our lives, the ones that are on the wall, the military, they taken care of. That's got to be the number one priority.
First order of business. We overhaul the military, the veterans hospital, number 1. Number 2, all homeless veterans now get military housing. I don't care if we got to put them on a shutdown military base where officers used to stay, where they got those houses.
They allow us to live the life we do.
All homeless veterans will have housing and be taken care of.
Overhaul the VA. Mike would tell you, Mike, you love it, right? We get a doctor's appointment 4 months out. 3 months out. Yeah, and you really need to see a doctor? Oh, we could slag you in 3 months, 22 days.
You cut your finger off? All right, we'll see you in 6 months. Just you hang on to that.
6 months, 4 months. Now, don't you guys think in a weird way maybe a senator or congressman might be able to get information more than the president? Because technically, as a senator or Congress, as long as you could keep getting reelected. So in a lot of ways, you could be there a lifetime versus a president.
We need term limits.
Because Ron, has there ever been a president who, when he finished his term, ever came back as a senator, Congress? I don't know of any, but came back into office, or can they?
I don't think
know.
So.
I don't know how that part works, but I'm not too sure about that
Why
stuff.
would you want to take a downstep? What they do is they get hired after their term by private corporations to do speeches and stuff like that. They work on things that they wanted to work on their whole lives. You know,
They get
like,
much richer outside of Congress
Yeah.
because,
right.
you know,
Oh, you ain't kidding, right?
I
They do a
just,
lot of private talks and stuff like that at
Oh,
universities. and
dude,
stuff.
when I heard like when Bill Clinton was doing his after he was president, when he went around did speeches, I was shocked how he was getting like over millions of dollars, right?
Sure.
Millions of dollars. And I remember, I never understood this day. I'm not trying to get political here. Like after during the Me Too movement, men, you know, the men, and Bill is part of those men who did the wrong thing, uses power, right? But those people on the Me Too movie still paid money to see him speak for millions of dollars. And to me, that's where I'm like, it's all a joke.
Jimmy Carter is 98 years old in hospice, and they will still pay to hear that man speak.
Yes.
Literally. 98 years
Yes.
old. He's still
remember,
out.
the presidents, though, you got to remember, they still get paid when they're out.
Yes.
Right.
And
They
they
still
get
get
Secret
paid.
Service for the rest
And
of their life.
Secret Service,
They get-
two-man Secret Service detail. But with that being said, let's also remember, because today's President's Day, that we brought up Jimmy Carter. Let's keep him in our prayers. He's going into hospice now. He was one of the first presidents, I think, to come out formally on television and say that he witnessed a UFO. So
Yeah.
let's keep him
I
in
don't think
our
a
prayers.
lot of young people realize this. Where we grew up, we actually had in this month we actually had two holidays. President's Day wasn't President's Day. We had George Washington's
Abe Lincoln
birthday and
George
Lincoln.
Washington.
And Lincoln. We had like two separate days or two holidays. Then they combined it to one
They
and
rolled
made
it
it
all
one
into one
President's
now.
Day. I forgot when that changed, but I remember having like 2 days off. Like
Late 80s that changed, I think.
yeah, I missed that. But hey, people, Anthony put together an awesome video of different clips from presidents talking
It's
about
still
UFOs
uploading.
and stuff. And I say, let's roll it.
No. I'm uploading that to my show.
Oh, you're up into your channel. Oh,
Yeah.
cool. So here we go. I got some fun stuff. We're gonna start with we're gonna go down the line. So first of all, I'm skipping Biden. Biden is to me just a joke on the UFO community. He just doesn't care. He makes fun of it.
All in total.
He's just he's I don't you know, I hate him. I hate him for that point. I mean, he makes fun of it. He won't even talk about it. How many days did it take him to even talk about the Russian balloon? What, 5-6 days? I mean,
What is
out
the
loud.
big deal about talking about UFOs with these people? It's so taboo. I don't
I
get it.
honestly think he doesn't have a clue about almost everything
He
he
don't.
talks about.
But why is it
Yeah.
so taboo? Still to this day, it's like we were watching the news the other day, right? And the media is eating this balloon thing up like they're UFOs. Remember when that was going on last week, right? But then you hear them talking, and it's like UFOs and the tinfoil hat people. But literally, you're selling it right now. But we're the tinfoil hat people, you know. But they're the ones that are making money on it. I don't know where Eric vanished off to, but I think
He keeps talking about presidency. They
his
just
internet went
Biden
out.
heard him and zapped
Here
him.
it comes. What happened? They zapped you?
I think the government is on. Well, we'll start with Donald Trump.
Yeah,
A lot of you guys
yeah.
seen this as President's
The
Day.
videos are
Donald
gone.
Trump discussing Roswell with his son, of all people.
Before you leave office, will you let us know if there's aliens? Because this is the only thing I really want to know. I want to know what's going on. Would you ever open up Roswell and let us know what's really going on there?
So many people ask me that question.
I know it sounds almost ridiculous,
No,
but
it
it's
doesn't.
actually the real question
It
I
sounds
want
like
to know.
a cute question, but it's actually, there are millions and millions of people that want to go there, that want to see it. I won't talk to you about what I know about it, but it's very interesting. But Roswell's a very interesting place with a lot of people that would like to know what's going on.
So you're saying you may declassify?
No.
You'll take it?
Well, I'll have to think about that one, right?
All right.
I'll have
Well,
to think.
all right.
That's what I'm talking about.
Is
A
that
lot of
just
people
joke?
think it's like a cute little question. What do you talk cute little question? You have Area 51. You spent billions of dollars on Area 51. It's where we house our advanced cloaking technology. I mean, what's so cute about it? You know what I mean? A U-2 spy plane was developed there. The SR-71 Blackbird. the F-117. I mean, some of our most advanced technologies come out of there. It's not a cute little question. The public wants to know what's going on. There are things in the sky that we can't explain, and you're the people that should be in the know. That's what we elected you for, to answer our questions, not to make us look like we're idiots about asking them, you know?
And and you're going to get
They don't
interviewed by
care
your
because it's
son.
us that wants it.
I
It's
know,
not the whole public. It's just our community, a small part of the population. I think if more people stepped up and started asking, I think we may get further, possibly.
Well,
Probably
Ron, I have
not.
to say this, today, and this would have never happened years ago, but like even my parents, every time they see something UFO on TV, I get an email with the video from my mom or my dad or my sister. Like, if they're into it, there's other parents that are into it today and other people. There's a lot more people checking it out today than there was 20 years ago. And I think
definitely. But
20 more
it's
years
still
from now,
taken as a joke.
what you're talking about. I think it'll be a little way more accepted 10 years from now.
But I
We're on the right
know
track.
I know what Ron's talking about, because I know a lot of people, like right here in Washington, there's a lot of people who believe in UFOs, but they just don't care. They don't care to watch videos or listen. Even though they believe in it, they don't care. They just don't care. And you got those people, they're not gonna write a letter to the senators and Congress, because they got better things to them. They think, I gotta take care of my kids and stuff. I don't care. Even though I believe in UFOs, I don't want to mess with it. And that's the problem. You got the people who do believe it that will, and the people who do believe it that won't do nothing.
That's another problem today. That's another issue. Nobody picks up a pen and paper or types to their congressman. Nobody picks up and calls their senator and councilman to see what's going on. Nobody busts chops anymore. We do, but they don't.
Guess what? Yeah. That's going to be part of my thing, because I'm going to be probably a 20-minute ride from D.C. So
Awesome.
I'm going to try to get interviews with those congressmen and all that, Burchett and all that. Watch. I'll be out there.
My dad is the assistant vice president of the Laborers International Union in North America. And he goes to the White House for meetings quite often, maybe 3-4 times a year for union stuff. And I tell him all the time, if you can get close to anybody in that room with you, film them and ask them about UFOs for me and send me the video. Anyone. I must ask my father 100 times, can you get me an interview with anybody? 5 seconds on the internet is all I need. Just a little back and forth, 5 minutes, that's it. You know how hard it is to do? It's hard.
Yep. But you got to catch them. So that's why I'm saying I'll be right there. It's like,
Ron, I got to tell you,
I've done so much work in D.C., it's not even funny.
I live 20 minutes away from Washington, D.C. What a freaking ugly freaking city that really is. That city is ugly.
It's so square and plain, and it's just unbelievable. Everything just looks the same. I think 12 stories is the highest you can go on most buildings.
Here's my second video, UFOs with Trump, and then we'll go down the line from Trump. We'll go next to Obama. Obama's after Trump. So we got one more video of Trump.
Welcome back to our special Trump in Asia edition. I'm Tucker Carlson tonight. We're standing right now on the North Korean border. Our interview with the president didn't simply focus on foreign policy or the decay of American cities, though you could fill hours of programming on those topics. The federal government is being increasingly open about its decades-long investigation of UFOs. They have spent millions of dollars, and officials admit now they've seen many things they don't understand. We decided to ask the president about it. Here was his semi-cryptic answer. Watch.
You gave an interview the other day in which you said you've been briefed on unidentified flying objects. Are they real?
Well, I don't want to really get into it too much, but personally, I tend to doubt it. I mean, you have people that swear by it, right? And pilots have come in and they said, and these are pilots that are not pilots that are into that particular world, but we have had people saying that they've seen things. I'm not a believer, but, you know, I guess anything's possible.
We spoke to a government official recently who said the U.S. government had wreckage from a UFO in a facility on an Air Force base. Are you familiar with that?
I haven't heard that, no. I haven't heard that. It has not been within government.
You know what? If there was, He's probably right. He doesn't know about it. Like we're talking about, they don't know everything that go
They're
on
not in the
behind the
know.
scenes.
Like you think they're in the know. That's true.
Why would you tell
But at least he
him?
also said, "I'm not a believer," but he didn't like ridicule it and make it like so sound stupid.
Right.
I mean, listen. If I was in that secret government, I wouldn't tell that guy nothing because he can't keep his mouth shut. unless now he's rerunning against me, then he'll probably say it that they're real, so you get all those votes.
Government has not been a big thing, but I've seen it. I've seen it on your show, but I've seen it. I don't assume it's correct, but, you know, I have an open mind, Tucker.
No, you do, Mr. President. Thank you for that.
Nowadays, you can believe anything.
The question without making some humorous reference to a science fiction movie.
Well, that guy's just he's just back. They just ask him questions about is the president not telling us everything and all that. Well, the presidents will never tell us everything. I mean,
Nick Pope the joke right there.
You did what?
That guy's a joke.
Nick Pope the joke.
Yeah,
that is.
Yeah, that's why I'm not gonna play him. You know. Then we got good old before him. We got Obama, which where is actually hold on.
Oh, you're gonna get your pom-poms out now, Eric? You happy?
I have it if you need it, Eric.
Just no, that's George Bush. President Bush, Bill Clinton, Jimmy Carter, and somehow I don't know what happened to my
and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are. We can't explain how they moved, their trajectory, and so, you know, I think that we're people still take seriously trying to investigate and figure out what that is.
How do you guys feel about, because Obama is probably one of the best political correct kind of answer kind of guy you can have as president. He'll do everything politically correct. You don't really get like a full answer.
He was just a good talker. That's all.
He's a great talker.
Obama? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That's
He's
all
a
he was.
fantastic talker.
Everybody loved him because he was cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
But does he? I don't know. I mean, do we believe what he says about UFOs? I mean,
but what
he doesn't say he's against them or for them.
But then again, Eric, a UFO is just an unidentified flying object.
That's
For
true.
Christ's sake, they were calling balloons last week UFOs. I mean, you know?
See, because everybody, that's why I said I think they were really trying to push us, because remember they switched over to UAP. But UFO, everybody relates with aliens, so that's why they started saying UFO, UFO, all the media.
We need to start calling these ETVs if they're going to be from off-world, extraterrestrial vehicles. So then we know, because the UFO is just an unidentified flying object. So from now on, I'm going to call them ETVs, extraterrestrial vehicles, when I mean alien. I think that's the best abbreviation we could give for them. Best acronym we could use.
You know, I got a video here that I forgot. I was going to play in the beginning of the show because it's more overall. It's called UFOs and the White House. And I forgot that I had it here, UFOs and the White House. So it's a little bit of everything.
Hey everybody, I'm Tony Masilis, and this is Irregularly Scheduled Programming. Well, 2008 contender Dennis Kucinich made some headlines at this week's Democratic debate when Tim Russert asked him this question.
The godmother of your daughter, Shirley MacLaine, writes in her new book that you sighted a UFO over her home in Washington State. Did you see a UFO?
I did, and the rest of the account, I didn't. It was unidentified flying object. Okay, it's like it's unidentified. I saw something. Now
well, he's at 1% in the latest Gallup poll. So,
but first of all, when he said he did, you notice how the crowd was like basically kind of like making fun of him.
Yeah, I hate that.
And he, you know, he tried to correct us. Like, listen, it was a UFO, unidentified object. He answered it correctly, but he was still getting like.
But that's a tactic. I think that's because that's a tactic that's used when if you hit on something or find something out, they ridicule you to knock you down to make a joke of the story. I bet you that came out from the 40s and 50s when people were seeing things. That's what they were doing, just like the media does nowadays for other subjects like that. They'll knock you down and laugh at you, make you look like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, and then everybody laughs at you. Because why would people laugh at that when everybody was seeing sources and all that in the 50s? That was the source of craze. Everybody was seeing them. What would make it that, ha, 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 you're crazy? I
appreciate it that he was honest. I appreciate he was honest. Yeah, I seen one.
Yeah.
You know, and he also said it was unidentified flying object. He didn't say it was ET from another planet. He just said he saw something he couldn't recognize.
But that's what I mean. Everybody takes UFO as alien when they hear that right away. That's why they laughed, you know?
Yep.
So it's really not likely that that honesty is going to do much damage. But consider this. If he were to actually win, he would not be the first commander-in-chief to claim a close encounter of the third kind. Jimmy Carter said he saw a UFO back in 1969. He pledged during his 1976 campaign to make every piece of information this country has about UFO sightings available to the public. That never happened. In a speech back in 1985, Ronald Reagan told Russia's President Gorbachev that they would put aside their differences, quote, if suddenly there was a threat to this world from some other species from another planet outside in the universe. And even Bill Clinton has expressed an interest in UFOs. Check out the website Presidential UFO for information about the views each president has had about life on other planets.
Well, I happen to know Bill Clinton's views because he took a trip one time to Hawaii and he went up to go visit the telescopes that we have up there. And he had a meeting with all the scientists up there, and he had asked them, you know, what's your percentage on extraterrestrial life outside the universe? And the scientists had said, oh, we have huge fights about this all the time. He said, oh, really? And then he says, well, what was your conclusion? And he said, well, half of us believe that it's 85% likely that there's extraterrestrial life, and the other is 95% that there's extraterrestrial life. And talking about 10% right there, difference between, but there's still, it's over 50%, talking 85, 90%, that these scientists strongly believe that there's extraterrestrial life outside the universe. You're talking about billions of light years, galaxies out there. I mean, it's crazy. Matter of fact, I have the clip if you want to see him talking about it.
Yeah, sure.
Get it for you. Bubba. Here we go. Clinton.
Hi. With the recent release of Pentagon footage of unidentified aerial phenomena, and things like Project Blue Book and ATIP and all of these various things, in your former position and currently with the current information that's released, what's your viewpoint on what these objects that seem to defy all laws of physics are?
Well, first of all, that's a legitimate question now. And the short answer, but not the most meaningful one, is I don't know about this. But when I was president and I had a chief of staff, John Podesta, who loved science fiction, we made every attempt to find out everything about Roswell. And we also sent people to Area 51 to make sure there were no aliens in a deep, because Area 51 is very important.
Who do you send to Area 51?
Oh, if I told you that. No, actually, I sent my Sandy Berger, who passed away sadly a couple of years ago, who was my national security advisor. But I said, we got to find out how we're going to deal with this, because that's where we do a lot of our invisibility research in terms of technology. Like, how do we fly airplanes that aren't picked up by radar and all that? So that's why they're so secretive, but there's no aliens, as I know. On the other hand, Hillary and I went to Hawaii in 2018 to the Big Island, where all the telescopes are on top of the mountain, including the Keck telescope, the largest in the world. And several countries have scientific teams there. So after we toured the telescope, we went down and met with them. And I said, do you guys argue about the likelihood of life in outer space? He said, we have huge arguments. I said, you do? He said, oh, huge. I said, what's the range? He said, there are those of us who think it's 85% likely and those of us who think it's 95%. He said, these are people who spend their lives doing this. He said, we think, in other words, it's very unlikely that there is not life. There are a billion, not a billion planets, a billion solar-like systems. There are lots of mysteries out there, which is why I think we should take good care of this planet. I think we ought to kind of hang on to it if we can. And I think, but I also think it should keep us humble. There's a lot of stuff we don't know.
200 billion stars just in this galaxy alone.
Hi, Lisa Gambino. Welcome. SOS Paranormal. Good to see you. Dina P. Welcome. Yeah. So, makes you think. There's definitely life out there. We just haven't found it within the parameters of our solar system yet. But I'm sure outside the parameters of our solar system, it's very plausible that there's life.
In our solar system, I don't know, they haven't, but in this galaxy, our galaxy alone is so big. They already found like over 5,000 exoplanets so far, and they're going to find probably tens of thousands or more. You know, it's insane.
All I know is next time I want to be in the bed with my Squatchettes next time. All right.
All right. Just a small little announcement to everybody in the chat. Bigfoot Anon, you're watching from work. In the middle of March is when I was going to launch season 2. Waiting for springtime. I actually already had this cartoon for a while. Been holding on to it for March. And since we're talking about aliens, I'm going to show you one tiny fast scene. This is Bigfoot Anon after the Kiss concert with 2 alien chicks.
I see that.
That's all you're going to get. That's
Lucky.
all you're going to get.
Lucky.
So Bigfoot Anon is basically Captain Kirk in the beginning of the season 2 episode. So it's coming in March, guys. I'm waiting in March. Just showing a little tip that you see that season 2 is actually going to start getting a little, I don't know, maybe crazier, which if you think the other one was crazy, you know, crazier. But that's going to be in the middle of March.
Cannot wait.
Actually, technically, the episode 2 of season 2, I'm getting that like in 2 days. So I'm actually going to have some ready so I can have it in a timely manner. So that's why I was actually getting some made as we speak. So it'll be a lot more like if I set them up.
It's like Captain Kirk was like my hero because like he didn't care. He went with any of the aliens. She could have been pink with green polka dots. He would have did her like that. He was a man. He was a interstellar pimp.
Yeah, and trust me, this is going to be a crazier season. And I just want to give you guys a little clip that there is one. It actually the first one is done. Second one's almost done.
Just because Terry Brown saying that I better patent my term. So just so everybody's here, we got 23 people in the chat. ETV, extraterrestrial vehicle, has been coined by unidentified S4. I have 23 witnesses here that I coined that phrase. Just letting everybody know while we're here. Good call, Terry Brown.
And now, where is it?
Now that and another $3 will get you on the bus.
That's all right. You'd be surprised how many people will start using something.
Is this the one? No.
I just think UAP is stupid. Phenomena. When you see something solid up there, even a drone, they'll call it UAP. Like, what's phenomena about that?
Why I like extraterrestrial vehicle. I think it's a cool acronym, ETV.
I hope they get to use that one day because then that means they finally found one, you know?
That'd be dope.
Now we're going to George Bush, the son. So this is when George Bush goes on Jimmy Kimmel's show and he was asked about UFOs.
Okay.
with President Bush. This is his book. It is called Portraits of Courage, and we will go through this and talk about some of the veterans who you painted and you wrote about. But first, I want to ask you, this is a question that I think is very important to me and very important to the country. When you were in office, and I don't know when this happened or if it happened, did you go through the secret files, the UFO documents? Because if I was president, that'd be the first thing I did.
You know, it's funny. My daughters asked the very same question.
They did?
Yeah.
Would you be allowed to tell your daughters what was in those files?
No.
You would not?
No.
Now that you're out of office, you can do anything you want, right?
True, yeah. But I'm not telling you.
You're not telling You're not telling me what?
That's
Are you not
honest,
telling
at
me
least.
that you looked at them?
I'm not telling you nothing.
Are there really great secrets that you know that you can't share with people?
Yeah.
Yeah, there are. And you never write about them?
No.
Maybe at a time in your life that you're like, oh, I'm 90, I'm going to do it.
No.
No, nothing. What if you were to get like a little like loopy, you know? You get old and...
Start drinking again?
Start drinking again. Guillermo, get some tequila.
I'm going to tell everybody
Anthony,
something.
I'm so sorry to bust your bubble, pal. No, I was trying to see something because I seen Danny wrote about entertainment television, but I just looked this up. I did a search. What is an ETV vehicle? And it says, dubbed the ETV by this creator as an acronym for extraterrestrial vehicle.
Are you kidding me?
I kid you not. I'll show you the screen if you want.
No, don't. I'll throw up on mine.
See, the guy, he made a car and everything, and he called it an extraterrestrial vehiple and all that. But I'm just saying,
come up
that's
with
what I
anything.
mean. Nowadays, everything's taken.
Everything's
like that.
taken. All right, folks. I did not coin the phrase. Some other schmuck beat me to it.
Well, I'm going to tell something, everybody. Now, I don't care how anybody feels. If I had to pick a president to have a beer with, to have a barbecue with, George Bush is my pick. I would love to have a beer and barbecue with that guy because he's just got that nice hometown attitude, friendly. And I bet you if I got him drunk, I could get him talking.
You don't drink no more.
Listen.
Yeah,
In recovery.
he quit when he stopped doing lines.
Yeah.
I don't know why people think this. When you leave president, when you're president, you sign that you cannot talk about certain things. I don't know why people think, because they're not president no more, they're allowed to talk about what they know and saw. Secrets are secrets for life. And then he could get arrested if he spoke of anything that he's not supposed to because they sign and dot. Like, remember, Ron, you did your show, or was Anthony's show about lawyers will sign this on MK Ultra? I'm sure the president has to sign things that when you leave office, you can't speak about this.
Non-disclosure agreements. Yeah, well, it's all under the Top Secret Act and all that stuff.
But why do you think all these security intel community people, like, they all have their they're classified, their security clearances? That's why, and they keep them after and all that, and they have to maintain that, but they leave it because they need to keep that clearance. So because they were read in on a bunch of programs and stuff that they have secrets, you know. So, but yeah, like, I guess it's a high level NDA they have to sign or something, right?
Yeah. And everybody thinks that
it
once you're out of office,
like
you're not going to say
or
anything.
something.
They can't say anything unless you get arrested. Now, will they get arrested if they say something? They'll probably say he was drinking or drunk, and they probably won't arrest him. But you can't.
They're looking to indict Trump now for having files home that he didn't turn in.
They talk about indicting.
Biden had him and Pence and Obama, so now they're going to leave him alone. I mean, they will go after someone. They will drag his name and him through the mud. Believe me, if they don't like it.
How many times we hear they're indicting all of them or whatever, and nothing ever happens?
Yeah, but
Trump will never see a day in jail.
Listen.
And now you're right. Anthony, you're right. Every president, vice president, all now leaves files at their house. Right. Hillary Clinton leaks emails on not private servers.
She destroyed her server with a hammer. But
So why can't they tell us when they're leaving files around? I mean, they must not be important files if it's just laying around.
Not only that, dude.
Bedroom.
Getting your name dragged through the mud on the media every single day of your life is worse than jail, I think, man, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Now, before Bush, we have Clinton. I know Anthony showed us a clip of Clinton, but I actually got another one. So I get to show another President Bill Clinton about his, when he's talking about his book with his book writer guy, whoever he is. Where is it? President Bill Clinton. Here we go.
President Bill Clinton, James Patterson. All right, President Clinton, first things first before we move on. UFOs. You've been the president. You've seen all the info. Are they real?
You know, they've given us an idea for our next book.
Well, what do you know? What can you tell us?
The truth is that we've never proved one, but there are things flying around up there that we haven't fully identified yet.
So you know,
keep in mind, there are
right away.
basically a billion galaxies in an ever-expanding universe. I mean, you can't even get your mind around the sheer number of things that are out there.
But you've seen this.
And
you've seen the data.
Well, no one knows, but I think that the probability is that there's something you would call life somewhere else.
All right, and this
I just made myself a freak, right?
This is book number 3.
Right, so this is jumping off point
book number
for the
3.
book. Breaking news.
Yeah.
You're a Rhodes Scholar. You know what's up there. What is it? Tell us right now. What is it? Do we need to protect ourselves? Should we be buying duct tape or anything?
No.
We need to protect ourselves from ourselves.
No, yeah.
Right. Just grab your
we need
ear
to
if we're
worry about.
unsafe.
We need to worry about what Jim said. We need to get better at home.
Yes, right. No,
in our earthly home and in our American home.
And Jim, let's go back for a second. For you started not writing books necessarily. You started in advertising, didn't you?
Well, yeah, but I've been.
That's about the rest. Not really too much about UFO, but he's right. You know, there's billions and billions of planets and stuff. You know, there's got to be life out there. It doesn't mean that life has traveled here to Earth. But out of billions and billions of planets, there's got to be life out there.
Well, what happens, Ron, one day when an asteroid impacts Earth, and let's say it air bursts, you know, at 10,000 feet, and inside that asteroid there was an extraterrestrial fossil that once it hit the water, it activated and came back alive. That's a possibility. We have those little shrimp that sleep dormant for thousands of years. And then, you know, the desert gets flooded and they're alive again. I forget what they call them.
Remember, we're limited by what we know. We know what we know. We don't know what we don't know. Right?
I love that.
What? Oh,
I did not have relations with that alien.
Yeah, right. With that blue avian.
I did not use my cigar on that blue avian.
Connor and Captain Kirk has. No, I love that. I love that. And believe it or not, I couldn't really find anything with George Bush's father. Nothing really good. I got a small little clip of Ronald Reagan's thing. Let me see here. President Ronald Reagan on alien threat.
Obsession with antagonisms of the moment. We often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world. And yet, I ask you, is not an alien force already among us? What could be more alien to the universal aspirations of our peoples than war and the threat of war? In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment.
Ron, let me ask you this. Was he using the word of alien threat outside more in line of, before we can even worry about that, we have to worry about the threat that we have here on this planet? Or was he telling the American people, the world, that, hey, we got to wake up, smell the coffee, because there might be one day he's in front.
Well, this was around when I think that's when they were creating Star Wars. And I mean, Star Wars, not the movie. Actual,
yeah, we put it in my cartoon. We put it in my cartoon.
Satellite.
Yeah. And yeah, no, like I think because he has mentioned a few things, because there was other show, because they used to do with Reagan. I remember because I was in my teens, but they would do like a weekly update, even from home, I believe, if I remember. And he's talked about aliens before. It's not just like, now I can't say exactly what he meant right there because you could take that different ways, but I mean, I think he used it as an example. And you're talking about somebody why would he just say that with the ridicule people get and how this and that and everything, to be right there on that stage, the United Nations, and say that, makes you wonder.
He had his script writers writing alien stuff all the time. I read that he was obsessed with extraterrestrial stuff, and he was begging for it in his scripts all the time. They used to have to appease him and add these little paragraphs in there.
I don't know. I didn't read any of it, but I just thought it because I thought about I don't know how true it is. Some people say, nope, it's not true, but they have no fact or they don't have proof. But the Richard Nixon with Jackie Gleason story.
Right, that he took him down to Area 51 already to see the bodies.
Picked him up, went in his car, got him, and just and went like that. Now people right away just say that's totally false. It's been debunked, but how? Where's it been debunked?
Debunk something like that? Unless you were allowed into Area 51 to look yourself.
Some people take debunked as because media report and say, nope, it wasn't true. That's it. That's not acceptable to me. I'd like to know how was it debunked, So, but
I do have an article that was sent to me by Ron Nixon, but let's go to we'll go to Jimmy Carter, and then we'll go to the Nixon article. This is Jimmy Carter talking about his encounter.
I was gathered in a schoolyard with about 20 other men, and we saw a bright light.
First of all, that should be freaky. In a schoolyard with 20 other men.
I know that started off real weird.
Hopefully they're playing football.
Appear in the distant western skies, and it got closer and closer. And when it was just above the treetops, it changed color. And then it stayed there for a while, and then it disappeared into the distance. And none of us could ever imagine what it was, and I still don't know what it was.
In 76, he said you'd try and release all information to the public and to scientists about other UFO sightings.
Yes.
Do you think you achieved that?
I'm not sure, but we did release a lot of the information, but I don't know how much was not released.
Jimmy Carter's interesting because I was just a too small of a kid to even remember him as president. I remember Ronald Reagan as president, but I was born in 73, so when Carter was president, I don't remember him at all, but he did file the UFO report and all that. I mean, he did do that. But Anthony, do you know once he became president, did he ever know of any information that he tried to get that out more by any chance?
I'm sorry, say that one more time. You broke up.
Okay, so he filed the claim that he saw a UFO before he was president. Then he became president. Did he ever brought that story back up while he's president and trying to get that information back out?
Oh, he was there so many times about that while he was president. He's told that story on numerous occasions, which is odd because I couldn't even find this. So many, I've seen them in the past, like on the History Channel and stuff, where he was in the Rose Garden talking to the press about it one time. He was at an event, singing it a couple times. And you used to be able to find that footage on YouTube all the time. I had a very hard time finding it, though, this time. Ron, who was the leader of Canada that used to talk about all the UFOs? Heria?
No, I don't. I don't know if he was the leader, but there was
the Canadian guy.
Yeah, there was this. Yeah, this one that he had that like horseshoe, like he was bald here and had here, but he was old. But he was, I don't know if he was the leader. I don't know what he was, but yeah, I remember one because there's been a few, and he had some stories, man. Huh?
Was it Paul Hellyer?
If I see his face, I'll be able to tell you. I don't. The name just. It's funny because you and I had this conversation in the past about this person, and I just can't remember.
It was Paul Hellyer. That's who it was. I hope that's how you pronounce his name. and he was Canada's guy. Let me pull him up. Okay. He was huge on UFOs, Paul Hellyer. You know what I'm talking about, Eric?
The Canadian. I don't really follow Canadian.
Let me see his picture.
I'm getting it right now.
Yeah, give me his
Hurry
picture. I
up.
gotta see his face.
Taking so long.
Yo, come over there and bust skulls.
Yeah, come see me on the 28th.
What happened? There he is. Let me mute it so we can
Where's
watch.
his face, though?
You can keep it muted, but
That's
him.
one guy, but I'm talking about another one.
That's Paul Hellyer. That's the guy I'm talking about.
I know that you're saying that's him, but the person I'm talking about is a different person.
I forgot what he did for Canada, this dude, but he used to talk about maybe he was the Secretary of Defense for Canada. I can't remember. I'm not Canadian. Mike Johnson, you should know Paul Hellyer's position in Canada. But anyway, this guy used to openly talk about that UFOs are real, that we're going after UFOs, that pilots, and he'd been since the 90s. He was talking about this stuff, and also Mikhail Gorbachev from Russia used to talk about the UFOs over.
Him and
over
Reagan
Russia.
used to go back and forth.
Right? Yeah, all the time, and the open dialogues these countries, us and all these other countries, must have with each other is I can't even imagine. And we also hear a lot of talk about UFOs over, not Russia now, but Ukraine. There's been a lot of talks with UFOs over Ukraine, UFOs over China. You hear about them all the time. I would love to be in a meeting when the United Nations, all the presidents meet up at the United Nations and they have that discussion over coffee and cake behind closed doors. So what's flying over Ukraine today? What's flying? Would you guys get over China
That would be
last
fun.
week? And right? Would you love to be in that room when that stuff's happening? I know I sure would.
You know what? When I look at it, because they're the picture, I think that is the guy I'm talking about.
Paul Hellyer.
Because looking at another picture of him online, like he looks different there. I think that is the person that I meant to.
So, Ron, you sent me this. I mean, I heard of this story before. Let's talk about how Richard Nixon allegedly showed the honeymooners, Jackie Gleason, some aliens. What do you know about that story, Ron?
Oh, what I remember from about it, what I can recall is, and again, like don't quote me on everything, but that
I'm quoting you.
Jackie Gleason
exclusive,
and right. If I'm going to be the head of the DOD, I need to get on point. But Jackie Gleason and Nixon, they were like really good friends, like just normal buddies and everything. And it's so called that Nixon like ditched his security detail and actually went and picked up Jackie Gleason, like, and he was driving President Nixon, and he said, "You like, again, you want to go see where they have him or something to that effect." And he took him over. I think I don't know where it was. That's the thing. I'm cloudy on where it was. I don't know if that was in D.C. somewhere and they had it underneath the Capitol or something, or was this in Area 51? That's the thing I'm mixed up on. But so-called he took him, and he took Jackie Gleason to go see aliens and I think some UFOs. That's what I remember. Something like that. But it was Nixon picked him up driving in his own car and got him while he was president.
You guys think that presidents might know some things and they actually brought some friends in and showed it to them?
I think back in Nixon's time or Carter's time or Ford's time or Roosevelt, everything let's see, maybe like everything pre-Reagan, I would say that would have been possible pre-Reagan. After Reagan on, I don't think any of that would have been possible. I think things were a little more laxed.
Yeah.
Pre-Reagan.
They truly, really did have all the power.
I think so. I think, and like today, forget it. I don't think there's any shot of a president bringing his friend in Area 51
You mean
or anything.
if I was president and you're vice president, and you and I wouldn't be able to take Justin and show him the alien ships from Roswell?
I highly doubt that, my brother.
Sorry, Justin. I tried to get you in after we win presidency. Try to show you guys the proof. It doesn't work. You know, and all right. So this is about the we're climbing down. We're about, you know, we're getting close to in the presidential show today. Now, beyond Nixon, who was the other famous president? Was it
Eisenhower,
Roosevelt?
I think.
Who?
Eisenhower, yes.
Eisenhower. Tell
Theodore
us
Roosevelt.
that story.
Gerald Ford too, right?
Ford? I don't remember one on him.
I can look it up real fast for you, Gerald Ford.
I think Truman, I think, knew a lot.
Truman.
He's the one that started creating all the agencies.
I know Roosevelt and Truman, there was words about but I mean, the media wasn't like it is now.
James Forrestal knew, because he's the one that they probably threw him out the window of the hospital, but they said he jumped out.
President Ford released the 1966 UFO document. I know there was that.
Don't worry, Justin. I'll try. I'll clone you as somebody else. We'll put some makeup on you and make you look like one of somebody important.
Gerald Ford demanded answers for the UFO sightings in Michigan. There was that. I don't know what else though.
Eisenhower, they said there's stories
He
out
had
there
the
that
secret
he
meeting.
met with one. They may believe he went to the dentist, but he actually went to a secret meeting or something.
Yep.
Well, here's a truth question.
Stay tuned, because I'm working on Project Serpo. I started working on that again, so that'll be coming out.
Even though I am truly running again, it's easy paperwork to fill out, but we know the American people don't have the strength of their balls to vote outside the Republicans and Democrats. They don't. American people don't have the balls to do that. They're afraid. So we know it's going to be either a Democrat, Republican as president, because the American people don't have the balls to vote in somebody like myself in there. Do you ever think in the future, Ron, that one day a president will come out and say, this stuff is no longer classified? Here it is. Will we ever have that day?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so, because I don't think the president's ever going to have that info. Or I think it's so. Of course, it's my opinion. I think it's not like they can just pick something up, I don't think, and just go, oh, and read through everything. I think it's parts so many different places, like stories and this all over the place. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they do. That would be nice.
I gotta correct something real quick. Justin says, you got my vote, Eric, but I'm not American. Hey, Justin, in America, illegals can vote. So you can vote. You just walk in and vote. It seems like people are vote that's not even American citizen. So
yeah, you could get a driver's license. You don't even
just get a
have
driver's
to.
license.
Yeah.
You'll be able to vote.
Yeah. Go to Michigan. They'll give you one.
So what about you, Anthony? You think one day, okay, let's go beyond the question. Somebody, the president or somebody, government finally comes out and say, this classified is no longer classified, and they stamp it with unclassified. Here you go.
No, I don't think that's ever going to happen, Eric. Maybe certain UFO documents and stuff like that, but the whole thing, no, that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
At least I don't think it's ever going to happen. Would I love it to happen? Yeah, I would love it to happen, but think about it. It's not going to happen. God only knows how they can perjure themselves with opening the floodgates on that stuff, what they haven't told us in all these years and all that stuff. You know what I mean? I
agree. I mean, God, like I said, this planet, we can't even get along with neighbors in this planet. We can't, we're all, it's so weird to think about, really. It really, truly is weird to think about this whole big planet. Every country has walls, basically. It's just so weird. How we ever gonna share anything? We can't even share things with neighbors. We're blowing fucking balloons out of the air. Chinese balloon. Everybody's spying. We're spying. They're spying. I mean, what a pathetic world we live in. Seriously.
Yes, sir.
And why would it? I always think this. alien ships will have to come in and sneak and take bodies because they're never going to be welcome, right? They get welcome, they'll probably get caught by the government, cut them up, cut open, see how they're built. And they'll say, well, we're doing it for science. We're doing it to find where we could defeat diseases and stuff. You know, it's a sad world. I really wish one day we could be like Star Trek where we actually become one world. But, you know, we're not. Well, guys, I'm going to end the show with the JFK famous speech about sending the first man into space. Because, you know, I know that's not technically UFOs, but to believe in space, to believe in...
Real quick, I have a video uploading right now. It's uploaded in 4K, so it's taking a little while. I'd say in about another 20 minutes, maybe not even, it'll be up on that. And then Wednesday, we're going to talk about the Men in Black.
And also, if anybody's interested, today on Tech's Front Porch, 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, East Coast time, myself, Anthony's going to be on with Texas Front Porch. If you guys want to go there later today, that's 4:30 p.m. Pacific time, 7:30 East Coast time.
Oh,
Just
that's tonight. 7:30 tonight, my time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I put the wrong time down. Good thing you said that, man. I put the wrong time down.
And then we're gonna go out with the famous JFK speech about sending people into space. Here we go.
Space is open to us now, and our eagerness to share its meaning is not governed by the efforts of others. We go into space because whatever mankind must undertake, free men must fully share. I therefore ask the Congress, above and beyond the increases I have earlier requested for space activities, to provide the funds which are needed to meet the following national goals. First, I believe that this nation should commit itself to achieving the goal, before this decade is out, of landing a man on the moon and returning him safely to the Earth. No single space project in this period will be more impressive to mankind or more important for the long-range exploration of space, and none will be so difficult or expensive to accomplish. We propose to accelerate the development of the appropriate lunar spacecraft. We propose to develop alternate liquid and solid fuel boosters, much larger than any now being developed, until certain which is superior. We propose additional funds for other engine development and for unmanned exploration, explorations which are particularly important for one purpose which this nation will never overlook: the survival of the man who first makes this daring flight. But in a very real sense, it will not be one man going to the moon. If we make this judgment affirmatively, it will be an entire nation, for all of us must work to put him there.